Okay, so after making a video a couple of years ago about how to solder to the back of a pot, I had somebody ask me this morning how I remove solder from the back of the pot, so you could read the code underneath of the pot on an older guitar. So I'm going to show you how I do that. There's a couple ways that I do it. I typically use the desoldering attachment for my station, which looks if I can keep throwing things around like this. It's just a bulb that I can use to suck the solder up once I get it up to temperature, and then take it over and I can blow it out like somewhere else. But most people don't have desoldering station or desoldering attachments for their soldering guns, so quick, easy, cheap way to do it is get yourself a solder vacuum. All it does is create a vacuum. It's got a plunger inside. You push it down until it locks in place. You get the solder up to temperature, put the tip on it, push the button, it creates a vacuum, sucks the solder up, and then when you're done, you take and you squeeze it out, and you end up with a little bit of a little tube of solder that comes out of it, and you're ready to roll. The other thing that I use once I get the big bulbous blob off of it is I'll use a little bit of solder braid to clean it up, and that will take it all the way down to the bare metal, and you can work it little at a time without overheating it. I also like to keep a paper towel with some water next to me. That way, if I feel like I'm getting it a little too hot, I can cool it off real quick. But I've never had one go wrong doing it this way. So, like all things solder, let's tin the tip and then melt this down. And so you got to heat the entire pool. Once you get the entire pool up to temperature, suck it up, let it cool for a minute. I kind of try to brush it over to one side a little bit, suck it up. And now we're getting down to the brass tacks where there's not a whole lot left. So I can take this solder braid. Now with this stuff, you want to keep your fingers back a little bit, because it does get hot very quickly. It'll burn you. So all I do is I tin my tip just a little bit, heat it up, lay the braid directly on the solder I want to suck up and remove. Scoot it back just a little bit, so let that cool off. Because what this solder braid does is it acts as it's a wick. It's a solder wick actually, and it has a wicking effect, kind of like a sweat wicking t-shirt. It draws the solder up into it, just like the t-shirt would your sweat when you're wearing it in the summertime on a hot day. And there you go, you dry it out. And now that I can read that this is a B500K Core-Tech, basically the same pot that they would put into a Fender Japan guitar. So B500K Core-Tech. I kept it cool enough that I can put my finger on it. It gets hot, but I can put my finger on it. And that's everything that I need to see right there to know what this pot is.